Hey guys, this is Deanna.
Hey classmates, this is Brett. Welcome back to a special Hard Lessons. We are here in the classroom with a little bit of a show and tell day, aka the classroom is actually our dining room. There's high quality folks here. Anyway, baby sister Nicole is here and brother-in-law Robert. Hey guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How are y'all?
Doing very good, thank you.
Awesome. It's good to see you guys. I've been catching up the last few days. So, Robert is going to, you're from Scotland.
Yes, originally.
Originally. How long did you live in Scotland?
I lived there for the first 12 years of my life.
Awesome. That's cool. Beautiful country.
It's very beautiful, yes it is.
What part of Scotland?
It's a town called Paisley, which is just outside Glasgow. And I know you're into your random facts, but did you know that the town that we are sitting in right now originally was called Glasgow? And we are not in Scotland.
We are not in Scotland.
That's cool.
I got to think that Glasgow, Scotland is more beautiful than this area here.
It's probably just as cold and as windy.
Really?
Hey, similarities.
That's right. Is that anywhere near Shetland?
It is not near Shetland. It's almost about as far as you can get from Shetland and still be in Scotland.
Ah, gotcha. Have you ever been to Shetland?
I've not been to Shetland, no. But I would like to go to Shetland.
I would too. And I never knew anything about Shetland until we found the TV series Shetland.
Yeah.
And so that's my knowledge of Shetland, but it looks beautiful.
I think in a previous podcast we talked about your dad thinking that the Shetland ponies came from Texas.
Yes. That is so true. That is funny. Well, speaking of random facts, got time for the more you know.
I want to read it this time.
Okay.
All right. Elephants are the only animals that can't jump. With elephants, it is impossible for them to jump, as unlike other mammals, the bones in elephants' legs point downwards, which means that they do not have the spring required to push off the ground. I really thought it was just because they were huge.
I was going to say that's where earthquakes come from, right? When an elephant jumps.
Right. That would be terrifying, but yeah.
Could you imagine walking through the zoo? You got your son in one hand, your daughter in the other hand. You're walking.
Well, no, I'm sure people have done that.
Well, because of an elephant jumping, not an earthquake.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I'm like totally lost now. But okay.
All right. Well, so Robert, you're going to talk to us a little bit about some ghosts and witches and.
Yeah,
Scaries.
I've got a bit of a story for you, but the disclaimer at the start of this, a vast majority of this could be completely made up. It's very unsubstantiated, so don't be trying to sue me if there's any non-facts in this story.
No, nonsense.
But to the best of my knowledge, this is all true, but we'll get into it and then you'll see that may very be questionable. A lot of it could be questionable. So anyway.
Excellent.
But I think it fits well into the rest of your podcasts from the ones that I've heard so far. So,
Awesome.
Anyway, so it fits in well because this is about the last witch trial in Western Europe, which happened 3 years after the Salem witch trials, which most Americans are very familiar with.
Yeah.
So the Salem witch trials were in, I believe, 1693. So this was about 1696.
Awesome.
I can do 3. I can add 3 on.
You did that real quickly.
See, and that could be one of the facts that's actually true in that. Okay, so there was this a wee girl, 11-year-old girl called Christian Shaw. She was the daughter of a laird, who's a landowner, fancy name for a landowner in Scotland, and she witnessed one of her maids stealing some milk.
Oh, hang on. Why is this important?
Why is what important?
This is in your hometown.
Paisley, yes.
So this was in Paisley.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, sorry, yes.
I was just going with the flow here.
Useful piece of information. Thank you for the interjection there.
Yeah.
I glossed right over the fact that yes, this all went down in the town that I grew up in, was born and raised in. So yes, thank you for that, Paisley. And there will be an even more closer connection back to this at the end.
Ooh.
So this all happened to Paisley. Before I was born, though.
A few years.
Few years, a couple of years before I was born.
Right.
So she witnessed one of her maids stealing some milk, as I said. The maid's name not somewhat irrelevant, but we should at least acknowledge the people that were caught up in all of this.
Yes, sir.
Was Catherine Campbell. So she stole some milk. There's no evidence as to how much milk she stole, but it was obviously enough that the child went to her parents and said, I just saw the maid stealing some milk. That's not cool. And the maid, as you do, was none too happy about it. And she said, I hope the devil will haul your soul through hell on the wee girl, right? So, which is, that's pretty harsh.
That is
Yes.
harsh, yeah.
Yes. Scary.
So the wee girl started suffering from a whole bunch of mysterious ailments. She was having sweats and fits and seizures, convulsions. A lot of these things were very similar to what was happening in the Salem witch trials as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'll get back to why that piece of information is somewhat important. So, very similar, and also, coincidentally, these are also very similar to how things were depicted in The Exorcist. That's how when they're possessed.
Really?
So so very similar. Not saying that there's anything connected, just very similar.
Yeah.
Add a little bit of didn't think about that to the story. So anyway, she was ill for a long time. She went down with a lot of different symptoms. Months. This went on for months. She was having all sorts of different things, pulling strange things out of her mouth, balls of hair, straw, coal, gravel, chicken's feathers, all sorts of weird, strange things.
Well, like a whole chicken?
Feather.
Oh, chicken feather.
Not whole
So it wasn't chicken, comma feather. It was chicken feather.
chicken feather. Yes.
Okay.
Not like
I'm-
a rabbit in a hat.
I'm back on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say it. Ew.
That was,
Extra crispy, original recipe?
yes. No, yeah.
I'm back on board.
There was no KFC back in the day. So the wee girl was would wake up in the middle of these things and accuse people, right? And it started off mostly it was focused on Catherine. Then this other woman, Agnes Naismith, got dragged into it, and she was someone that was already known to be everybody accused her of being a witch in the town. So she got dragged into this as well. But then eventually the wee girl ended up accusing up to 35 people, right? So she was naming everybody and their mother and their daughter and all of this. And this went on for months and months and months. Then at some point in the middle of the 97, so 1697, they had a trial. There was 7 people that were ultimately put on trial. There was Catherine Campbell, Agnes Naismith, Margaret Lang, Margaret Fulton, John Reed, John Lindsay, and James Lindsay. The last two, the 2 Lindsay boys, were only 11 and 14 years old.
Oh my gosh.
So a couple of young lads. So they were all put on trial. So this was the last trial in the 1697. Obviously, things were a little bit questionable back then. There wasn't a whole lot of due process.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of like, do you accuse this person of being a witch? Yes, you're a witch. Okay, well, hang on a minute. But anyway, so all 7 were found guilty and sentenced to be hung. One guy actually killed himself in his cell, so he committed suicide in the cell before he got hung.
One of the brothers?
One of the older guys. So
Okay.
there was the 2 boys, 1 guy, and then 4 women.
Yes.
So the older man committed suicide in prison. The other 6, including the 2 boys, were all hung on a Gallow Green, place called Gallow Green, which that and the other landmark I'm going to talk about was less than half a mile from the house that I grew up in. So Gallow Green, there's a thing called the Witch's Well, which is a little monument that's in this little park down from where I used to live. So that's where they were actually hung. Then they were all burnt, as you do, because you burn the witches.
Sure. Yeah.
And then all of the ashes were buried into Maxwelton Cross, the place that was called Maxwelton Cross,
Okay.
which is the crossroads of Maxwelton Street and George's Street, which are two big streets in Paisley, which again was right down the road from where half a mile from where I lived. I used to go down, ride my bike there all the time as a wee kid. And the Agnes Naismith, the one that was accused, that was known as being a witch previously, she put what was called the dying woman's curse onto everybody when she was being hung, and it was basically, I curse you all to whatever. And so when they buried the ashes, they put a horseshoe on top of where they buried the ashes to keep the curse in. So that was the intent, was to keep the curse in. Any bad things that happened in Paisley after that were all blamed on this curse, as they did. And this was back in the 1690s. Then in 1960, there was some roadworks going on in the town. Town obviously come a long way since then. Paisley, another useless, interesting fact, is the largest town in Scotland. There are 7 cities in Scotland. Some of them are actually smaller in population than Paisley. Paisley's the largest town. It's not a town. There's a whole definition of how you become a city versus a town. It's not just based on population. So Paisley's the largest town, so it's pretty big. And in the 60s, I'll get to how Paisley became quite big. It's a long story, and my stories tend to go off in tangents. That's why.
Same here.
Perfect.
So Nicole's here to bring me back on. What? Why? Hang on a minute. Remember what we're talking
Well,
about?
actually, can we go on a little tangent for a moment? The witch's curse reminds me of Rigoletto.
Rigoletto.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's a real tangent.
that was a very
We
tangent.
don't even have to go down that path, but
And-
just sharing.
Okay. Rigoletto, you're not talking about the pasta? No. No,
The
okay.
opera.
The opera. Okay. Just checking. Double checking.
Now I'm like, what is this?
So I was about that. Is that another town in Scotland? Rigoletto?
No, I mean I knew what she was talking about though. Yeah, I was going with the opera. I'm more like, was that the preacher? Dig up some dirt.
All right, so back to the horseshoe. They were doing some construction in the 1960s and the horseshoe went missing. And then the town, shortly afterwards, went into a major kind of recession. So Paisley, and I'll finish this piece off. So in the early 2000s, they actually tried to, in a kind of half joking, half not mark, to try and get rid of the curse, because the town was a very depressed town. I was born in 1970, and it was a very rough, depressed town when I grew up. So anyway, the town, to try and oppress the curse, they installed a horseshoe in the middle of this junction in Paisley, and it's still there. There's an actual monument in the middle of this really busy cross street in the town. There's this whole monument with a horseshoe right in the middle of it.
Really?
So it's there to this day.
Oh, that is so cool.
So, coming back to the wee girl, Christian Shaw, she ended up going on, obviously gotten better after everything, and as you do. She went on to be a major player in the textile industry. There's stories as to whether she actually stole some things from the Dutch. She went over and found out what the Dutch were doing about weaving, and she stole some of their technology, which obviously wasn't very techy back in the 1600s. But Paisley became a huge textile industry, to the point where, another useless fact, if you know of Paisley pattern, the kind of flowery pattern
Yes.
that are usually on men's ties.
I used to have several of them.
Yes, that's Paisley. It's a Paisley pattern because of my hometown, but we stole it from the Indians, Eastern Indians, from 2,000 years ago. So we can't claim it's ours, but we went over as the British Empire did and said, that's ours now, thank you very much. We're going to take that.
Oh,
And
man.
the big textile industry, it was in Paisley, so it became Paisley pattern rather than Kashmiri pattern, which is what it really should be.
Yeah.
But it's now Paisley pattern. So anyway,
That's awesome.
Paisley became a big textile industry, and Christian Shaw sold her business to the Coates family, and any seamstress around the world will have heard of Coates thread. It was worldwide, world famous, and Coates thread came from the Coates family in Paisley.
I still have some of Nanny's Coates thread
Really?
in my sewing kit. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is so awesome. This is the first time I've ever heard of the term Coates thread. So that's
Well, what
pretty
it
cool.
means.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So there you go. Now, there's a lot of questions around the legitimacy of the whole story, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of belief that things were embellished after the fact, that the wee girl had some issues and whatever, and to bolster the case of their witches during the trial, that certain people might have added some extra colour into the things that, a whole chicken she was pulling out of her mouth,
Right.
and things like that. That those types of things get kind of added after the fact to
Right.
make the case a little bit stronger. Because there's pages and pages and pages of accounts of what happened to the wee girl, which obviously, no one was sitting there watching her writing all of this down. So it was all documented after the fact. So I think there was some shenanigans around embellishing what actually happened.
That is crazy. Yeah, and it still goes on a lot today. Here in America, one of the famous ghost stories is the. I just drew a blank.
Oh my.
The house up in New York.
Amityville?
The Amityville horror, a lot of that was made up. They finally came out and said, none of that stuff really basically happened. We was just looking to make a fast buck.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. Sad to say.
Yep.
That is awesome. So there is no proof that chicken feathers flew out of.
There's no proof. There was no photographic evidence. No one was walking around with a phone videoing the wee girl at the time.
Yeah.
None of that happened.
Not to be a downer, but there is proof that people died because of what she said, which is really sad.
That is sad.
Yes.
That is sad. And
7 people died because of either what she said or what was added onto what she said.
Right.
Yeah.
Same with the Salem witch trials. That there is no proof that those my Texans coming out, right? That they were witches, and people lost their lives over somebody telling a lie. And,
Yeah.
So did things improve after they did the horseshoe?
I think they were pretty good a little bit before that, because St Mirren won the Scottish Cup in soccer in 1987, and we haven't won since. So I think the curse was lifted for a very short period when we won the Scottish Cup.
Let's let them have a little bit of joy and then take it right back.
Take it right back.
Take it right back.
Then the curse came back.
I understand the Cowboys haven't been to the Super Bowl since '95, so I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
So that was very cool.
Yeah.
That was very cool. I liked it. I also like Robert's accent, so you could just have got a phone book and read it to us, and that would have been awesome to me.
Do you have a phone book? I'll start going. I'll start with the A's.
Yeah.
I don't even think we do.
I
Do
don't
those
think.
even exist anymore?
Once a summer, one
Time in the summer? Like,
they'll come and deliver one, and it's
okay.
got like local businesses and stuff. It's not like what a phone book used to be. Yeah,
I'm sure a whole bunch of your listeners are saying, "What's a phone book?"
yeah,
Probably.
exactly. You youngins. That is so true. That is true. Well, that was very cool.
Yeah.
Well, with it
Learn
being
something new, huh?
Christmas time, I'll read y'all a little scary Christmas story.
Yes. Perfect time of year for
Perfect time. Very good. Parties for hosting, ghost stories for.
Toasting?
I don't know.
Either.
Let me find a scary one. These aren't really scary.
Are they not? I don't know.
Well, some of them are. Some of them are like, well,
We were listening to a podcast and they mentioned it.
it's a good book. I like it.
Oh, okay. I
Here
haven't
we
read
go.
one that
Oh yeah, there's some that are like,
this is cheesy. You can tell it's all made up.
yeah.
Okay.
Ghost or real? Okay, let's. The
Okay.
Dybbuk box episode got you. Still get freaked out over that.
I know. I do.
All
Because then
right.
I have to question, is this a Dybbuk
Is that a
box?
Dybbuk box?
It's not.
Oh,
But
that,
I'm like,
that we know of.
yep.
All right, so this story is the haunting of Yuletide Inn. Dun, dun, dun. Nestled in the heart of Yuletide Village, a place of cozy cottages and twinkling lights, there stood an inn known far and wide as Yuletide Inn. The inn was celebrated for its warm hospitality, but it also held a chilling mystery that whispered through the halls, a tale of ghostly encounters that sent shivers down the spines of its guests. Yuletide Inn had been welcoming guests for generations, especially during the festive season. However, for as long as anyone could remember, the room on the top floor, room 327, had remained locked and forbidden. It was said to be cursed, a place of sinister and ghostly encounters that no one dared enter. The legend of room 327 began in the 18th century when a celebrated author, Edgar Blackwood, had checked into the inn during Christmas. Edgar was known for his macabre tales and a fascination with the supernatural. It was said that he arrived in the village with an antique mirror, a relic of dark historical events. On a fateful Christmas Eve, as the snow fell gently outside, Edgar retired to room 327, carrying the mysterious mirror with him. He gazed into it, chanting cryptic incantations that sent shivers through the inn. The air grew icy, and a sense of dread settled over the village. Guests reported eerie apparitions and ghostly voices emanating from the room, and a sinister presence seemed to extend beyond the mirror. The inn's owners, unable to bear the terror, locked room 327 and vowed never to open it again. As decades passed, room 327 became a place of chilling mysteries and ghostly encounters. Guests who ventured too close reported spectral figures and mournful whispers that filled the hallways. The legend of the cursed room loomed large, casting a pall over Yuletide Inn's reputation. One Christmas season, a renowned paranormal investigator named Amelia arrived at the inn, drawn by the tale of room 327. She had faced the supernatural before and was determined to uncover the truth. The inn's owners, though hesitant, allowed her to investigate. Amelia ventured into the inn's history, researching Edgar Blackwood's life and the origins of the mirror. She discovered that Edgar had made a pact with an otherworldly being, seeking the secrets of the afterlife. The mirror had been an instrument in his obsession. Armed with this knowledge, Amelia approached the room, prepared to confront the sinister forces within. As she gazed into the mirror, she saw Edgar's tormented soul, trapped inside the glass. His voice, filled with anguish, confessed to his desperate quest for knowledge. With great courage, Amelia recited the
Incantation?
Thank you. That released Edgar's spirit from the mirror. As she departed into the light, the room's malevolent presence faded, and the inn's guests reported feeling profound sense of peace. As Christmas morning arrived, Yuletide Inn was free from the shadow of room 327. The village celebrated the vanquishing of the curse, and the inn's reputation for warm hospitality was once again restored. The haunting of Yuletide Inn served as a testament to the power of redemption and the importance of confronting one's obsessions, even in the face of ghostly encounters and chilling mysteries. It reminded the inn's guests and the village that the true spirit of Christmas lay in the ability to free souls from their torment and find peace. Dun, dun, dun. I was really hoping for like a boom, because I was going to slap the table and you go, yeah!
Scare us.
Possibly, but there was no boom. situation in that story.
No.
I probably should have proofread. I got a little tongue twisted on a few of the words.
A few of the words. It's okay. So when did this actually, like, supposedly happen? Did it say?
Were you not listening?
No, because I got stuck on it because it sounded like an Edgar Allan Poe story.
Well, the guy's name was Edgar.
Exactly. So I went off on a chase.
What was it called? The Haunting of
Yuletide Inn? Was that supposed to be scary? Or are we supposed to like not say anything as we're like looking into a mirror? Maybe we like get trapped in it or something?
Especially like Bloody Mary. Don't say that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do
Did
that.
you know about that in Scotland?
What was that?
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Isn't that a drink?
Well, yes, it is, but this is more of a. Don't worry about it.
Urban legend, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, you shouldn't look in the mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times because you were invoking a spirit, and supposedly like a bloody lady would appear in the mirror. That
Or-
was like grade school.
Oh,
Or her reflection would be behind
Behind
you.
you.
behind
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two. So.
Same as that game, light as a feather, stiff as a board.
I've heard of that, but I never.
I have no
Did you
idea.
know
Mm-mm.
Huh.
I mean, I've heard it, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
What is the one about the one in the basement?
Basement.
Huh?
Okay, apparently I've made that all up.
I don't know that one.
Maybe it was made up, and then I totally believed it, and maybe that's why I have a fear of basements.
Maybe so.
Yeah,
Maybe so.
because no, that was just a story. Never mind, it wasn't.
Was it a
Urban
Ouija
legend.
board involved?
No. Those things are not like no. Mm-mm. Don't
Well,
even bring that
I
up.
like this story.
Thank you. I thought it was pretty good.
That's a happy story, not a
Yeah,
haunted
it's a happy
story.
story.
Yeah, exactly. That was
There's a heroine in the book, or in the story.
Amelia. She saved the day.
Are they all like that you've read so far? Like, it ends in happy.
Most.
Most.
Some of them don't. But
Cool.
yeah. Well,
At least it
awesome.
ended on a good note. And, Christmas isn't really scary.
Exactly. Christmas is a happy time.
Yes.
So, with that being said, I think we'll wrap it up.
So when are we going to do this again?
We will
January?
come back from our break the first week of January.
Okay.
Um,
I'm mentally putting it in my calendar.
there you go. You won't be back to work yet, so you'll still be relaxing on vacation.
Okay. Yeah, see, now I'm like, I know the timeline now. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get the first recording done before you go back to work.
Now, does it start over? Or does it like 18? Or whatever number we stopped on?
No, we'll be season 2, episode 1.
Awesome.
So, but in my notes, because I already have started taking notes for the episode, I wrote up in the other corner episode 18. So I
Okay.
keep track how many total number of episodes we have done.
Awesome.
So,
All right.
well, Robert, Nicole, thanks for joining us. Y'all got
Thank you.
anything to add?
No, thank you for hosting us.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. You guys are welcome back anytime.
Magnificent studio.
Yeah. Once we get more into this and get a little bit better at it, maybe we can do another episode with y'all, even while y'all are in North Carolina still.
You have to know that the first one's free, and then the fees go way
The
up.
fees
after
go
that.
up.
So
Hey, man.
we can discuss though.
We'll
We can
we'll discuss it later. Absolutely.
Is there a layaway plan? We could start now and then maybe.
Absolutely. All right. Well, classmates, y'all have a Merry Christmas, and we will see y'all in January.
Bye.